Oh, thank you, thank you. Can you all hear me? Lordy wordy, thank God I can't see everyone back there. All right, so my name is Dave Killeen. I'm field CPO at Pendo here in EMEA, and I joined 3 months ago, yesterday 3 months ago. I just passed my probation. Thank you. And I've come across from having run product and design at Product Board. In the last year, I have, my husband would say, probably spent way too much time kicking the tires on anything remotely AI, specifically AI tooling, and anything that gets you in a steeper state of flow, effectiveness as a leader. Also in the last 3 months, I've been hosting executive dinners across Europe in 5 cities, 200 of them, and the common chatter has been, we need a set of AI use cases, practical use cases, that we can bring into our own way of working and that of our teams so that we can drive greater effectiveness. And it's that consistent plea, that cry that people are looking for, that brings me on stage today, coupled with my unhealthy obsession around all things tooling and AI and workflow. So I want to pull the curtains back on all of this and hopefully light a helpful fire of interest, excitement, enthusiasm, but more importantly, effectiveness in our day-to-day, in our roles, but also in our careers. So today is a front row seat access to everything that I've learned, the tools, the techniques, the no bullshit insights that get you results quickly. Think of this as a 30-minute fast pass to all my mistakes, all my learnings that I've had in the last 18 months kicking the tires on all of this, so that you can all focus on what matters, building products and delivering value. Before we jump in, I should say, I enthusiastically brought a bunch of my exec product leaders together that I know in my network here in London to a call last week. I was having our company kickoff in Raleigh, North Carolina last week, and I woke up at the crack of dawn to get on the call with them thinking, this is going to be great, they're going to love it. And they're like, Dave, no, there's too much. Calm it down. We're just in ChatGPT territory. This is bonkers. Like, calm it down. So I went to Carlos, and I was like, Carlos, what do we do? Carlos was like, no, hit them with it. Give them as much as they can take in the 30 minutes that we have. So there'll be a lot hidden here in this session, and don't worry about taking notes. I'll have a QR code at the end so that you can all get from me all of what we talked through today. The tools, the techniques, the prompts, the works, the kitchen sink. Cool. Okay, so let's go forward. Look at this. It is by far, I think, one of the best animated GIFs I've ever seen in my life. Isn't it gorgeous? It's amazing. Being a product geek, being an exec, can feel an awful lot like this. This is the yellow sticky room, I call it. But it doesn't have to be that way, despite as fun as this looks. It should definitely not be like this at work, at least. And I liken AI exploration when I talk to people, and what I've been doing is like a fridge door. Bear with me on this one. You get home after a long day, and you're trying to figure out what you can cook for dinner, and you have to open up the fridge door to see what ingredients you have to play with. And AI exploration is pretty much like that, right? We know it's got potential, but we, quite frankly, are in the yellow sticky room. We can't lift our head above the parapet because we're all so damn busy. So without that time, we don't know what to be doing with all of this. We're scratching the door, and we feel we're missing out. So today, we're going to throw that door wide open. We're going to explore the tools, the techniques, the tricks, and the secret ingredients that can transform how you lead, how you work, and how you create value at a far, far faster clip than you can do today. So let's get cooking. Today, we'll focus on 3 key pillars. The first pillar is going to be how to reclaim time, how to save time. We will save a shitload of time today with this first pillar. I'm so hyped about it. Second, we're going to protect that time from being gobbled up by new demands of others. And finally, we will invest all of that protected time in ways that drive powerful results and amplify our impact. Think of this as a positive feedback loop. With each step, brilliantly reinforcing, amplifying the success of the next, and that will drive your success ultimately as a leader. Okay, the first step on this is saving time. As executives, we value, obviously, high leverage activities, but we spend 12 hours a week typing at 50 words per minute. Imagine if we could reclaim the majority of those 12 hours. Can you imagine? Then we could dedicate that to higher value work. Imagine tripling your input speed to 180 words a minute. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? You'd save nearly 9 hours a week. But some of you, keen typists here in the audience, are probably going, Dave, calm down. The best typist can only type at 75 words a minute. The keyboard, though, is the bottleneck, not us. The solution is our voice. 180 words a minute, not a problem. You can easily do it. I'm probably doing it right now. 220 words a minute, definitely not a problem if you're an enthusiastic Irishman like me. It's not just, though, about the speed. It's about ditching the friction. It's about freeing our minds, getting into that flow so that we can brainstorm, we can shape our thoughts, we can build our thoughts, we can build products, we can create the value that we're looking for, but doing it at a far quicker clip. So let me introduce you to the first tool in my bag of tricks called Super Whisper. Super Whisper is unlike any other voice-to-text app. Super Whisper doesn't just take what you're saying. Super Whisper actually gets the context and the purpose of our words. What you see behind me are these voice input modes I have in Super Whisper. Each one of these is like a personal assistant. What I do is I basically say to the email prompt, here's my prompt for email, take my gobbledygook and replace all the ums and the ahs. Give it an exact format, bottom line up front, punchy, punchy, punchy. My Slack one, always put in an emoji. My whole org think all Dave does all day is find the most suitable emoji possible for all the Slack messages. I don't do that at all. And this software downloads your LLM locally, downloads the LLM locally, and then you can create and spin up any of these at all. So this takes me now from 50 words a minute to 220 words a minute, depending on how enthusiastic I am about the topic I'm discussing. And it's really flexible. Like I say, you can have as many of these modes as you want. I'm going to show you a demo, and before you all start rubbing your hands with glee going, great, live demos, car crash, I am not going to do any live demos. Carlos and I said, hey, look, this is what I'm going to talk about. Carlos was like, great, but like the demos, Dave, the demos. So all of these demos are pre-recorded. Not only have I never done an audience or a presentation with an audience this size before, but I'll be standing around on the side like a Muppet as I press play on all of these. But anyway, look, here we go. Here is the first demo.
John, just to say it was fantastic to see you at ProductCon in London today. It's been a while since we last connected. Wishing you all the best on your travels back to New York, and great to see what you've been up to. It's been so long. Let's catch up when you're next in town, and whether you fancy dinner, drinks, don't really mind, or the theatre even, it'd be fantastic to spend more time with you and discuss what we're all up to at Pendo. Catch up very soon. Cheers. Take care, John. Bye.
And so we'll take all of that, remove all the ums and ahs, all the whole thing, up in seconds, boom, done. There you go. So it's really, really, really good. And this isn't just about efficiency. It's about unlocking a whole new level of effectiveness with our voice. And by the way, if you're on Windows, you're probably looking at this and going, oh God, he's promoted a Mac app. Windows Voice, flowvoice.ai coming out with the Windows app next week. So anyway, this person, you probably all know Dave Washer. He is a fantastic product leader here within EMEA, and I'm glad to call him a very good friend. I've been on a crusade with Dave because I thought if I can convince Dave of all of my obsession around tooling and this whole voice-to-text malarkey, then I've cracked it. Dave gave me this quote the other day, and he's basically saying, I'm getting 3 days of output from 2 days of work with all of this voice-to-text. Honestly, this works, everybody. Lean into it. It's not comfortable when you first start doing it. I'm trying to get my husband to do it, and he's like, no. I'm like, do it, please. Get comfortable with it because it'll give you a huge ton of pace. It's remarkable. Okie dokie, so now we've saved a shit ton of time. We now need to protect that time. We need to think of our calendar like a fortress. If we don't actively defend it, others will storm the gates and dictate our agenda. So we need to take back control of our time. Most of us probably manage our diaries like this. We should at least, where we have our meetings and then we slot in our tasks around the meetings. But let's be honest, we probably don't do this as habitually as we ought to, because quite frankly, it's a pain in the ass to do, right? But if there was a way to make this process far more easier, far more intentional, then being intentional with your time is critical for protecting it. And that's where Sunsama comes in. And bear in mind, I have literally kicked the tires on every tool under the sun around these use cases. Sunsama is fantastic. It's a calendar on steroids. It integrates with all the context, all the different sources you have. Obviously your calendar, but your Gmail, your Linear, your Notion, your ClickUp, your whatever, brings everything in under one HUD, and from then, boom, you're organized, you are accountable. And it then has this fantastic Pomodoro style timer, I should say, where you're literally running through the minute. You've got this forcing function. All your tasks are in the diary, and you're like, right, Dave, you only got 5 minutes left, rather than your time just expanding to fill the task. It's a forcing function for that focus. So really, this is a fantastic tool worth looking at. And just to finish up on the second section. So Nir Eyal, the author of Hooked, the yellow book, everyone's probably read, it's really, really good. He's come out with a new book called Indistractable, and it's fantastic. He was on Lenny's podcast recently, and he was talking about all of this, about really guarding your calendar is guarding your potential, which is spot on. Your calendar is not just a list of meetings. Your calendar is a list or a reflection of your priorities, of your values, and your commitment to making a real impact. When you treat your calendar with this intentionality, you're not just managing time, you're managing your focus, you're managing your energy levels, you're managing your ability just to get shit done. So I can't stress enough the importance of this particular concept. So we're 2 chapters in. We've now reclaimed precious time. We've built a fortress around our time. We're protecting it. And now how do we make those hard 1 hours work? How do we turn them into impact? So now I'll be sharing you the tools, the techniques, the tricks that I've discovered to get the absolute most out of AI once you have that time to play with it, right? These are the things that made that huge difference to my workflow as an exec, and I am confident it'll do the same for you all here today. Again, don't worry about scribbling notes, QR code at the end, we'll get everything done. The first up is what I call the magic word trick. This, honest to God, has changed everything for me. And it just came to me, a few weeks into Pendo, I was looking at a company that had my sights for potential partnership, maybe a possible acquisition. And I wanted to hurry up and get my skates on. And I wanted to write a 2-pager for Todd, our founder, and take him through everything, but I'm not really good at that kind of thing. It would take me forever to get it polished. I'd be back and forth. So I get my phone out and I go, hey, Claude, Dave here. And I have the chat. And I press the record button at the bottom, and I'm like, Claude, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of voice notes in no particular order, completely unstructured. And Claude, you're not going to acknowledge me. I know you'd like to have this back and forth with me. Just shut up, take them. But when I say that magic word process, you're going to take all those notes from me, and you're going to turn it into an amazing 2-pager that I can give to my C-suite here at Pendo about why we should do the dance with this company. Thank you, Claude. And then I walk outside, gorgeous sunny day, 10 minutes of sun, and I talk to my phone like a madman. And oh, and another thing, Claude, and I'm looking at the birds and the trees, and this is gorgeous. Oh, yeah. And boom, I kid you not, literally 10 minutes. It would take me at least a day, if not 2 days, to get that done, particularly in my first few weeks of the company when I'm quite nervous about everything. So please lean into it. This magic word concept is amazing. When I was asked to come on stage today, I was like, oh God, I've not done that before. Claude. I was like, I've got this idea about this fridge concept, and people are busy. No one has time to lift their head. These are the tools. I'm a bit of a freak. And done. Carlos, here's a 2-pager. Let's have a look at it. Honestly, it's just bonkers. I was going through our OKR process at Pendo in the first few weeks. Every company does it differently. And I was like, Claude, got some observations. Please take all these observations into a helpful 2-pager so that the owner of this process doesn't feel like I'm ranting at them, and they feel empowered to take it forward and make Q2 shine brilliant. And it did, right? And we're now running with it. So really lean into this trick. I can't stress it enough. If you're talking on the desktop on your laptop to a response in your chat, don't type to it. Just take out your phone, your companion app for that particular, whether it's Claude or OpenAI, and talk to it. Paragraph 2, that shit, Claude, get rid of it. Yeah? Just honestly, brilliant, really effective. Okay, so we've talked about sharing our thoughts with AI. I probably share too much with it. But how you express those thoughts also matter. Yeah. So think of it like this. A basic prompt gets you basic results, a bit like this measly slice of toast on the left, and you know where I'm going with this, right? So we're now going to have the AI do the heavy lifting for you and generate high impact, what I call burger prompts. Yes, you've heard that here first, probably the last time. I'm going to show you the next demo, hopefully it works, called Anthropic Developer Console.
So this is a developer console for Anthropic, the owners of Claude AI. So here what you see is the ability to generate a prompt, and it's exceptionally good. Let me show you. Give me a rigorous critique of this product strategy document, which is a fairly bland prompt, and generally you get an okay response from the LLMs, but if you just go ahead and do this, you'll get returned War and Peace of a prompt. And this is just my go-to. I do this all the time. Whenever I've got something really, really meaty to work on, I'll come in here and I'll ask Claude, or Anthropic in this case, the owners, to then break everything down for me. Give me the detail. Think it all through. It's just exceptionally, exceptionally powerful.
This is amazing, honestly. Lean into it. It's the only one that does it really, really well, that I at least have found. So we've now seen how to create these burger prompts. And here's the thing, even the best prompt, though, can fall flat on its arse if it doesn't have the context. So think about it. Would you rather work with a clueless colleague who knows nothing about your company and your context? Not at all, of course you wouldn't. You'd rather know or work with someone who understands what's happening. So this is what the next one is, where Claude Projects comes in. It's like giving your AI like a brain transplant. You literally upload all the context about what's happening, and then Claude gets it, right? And by the way, when I talk to people, the reason I was always hesitant about doing this kind of a presentation, I always assume people know about these things. So some of you might know about these things or not, but I hopefully, most of you are finding this useful. This is where Claude Projects comes in. I'm going to show you how to use it for your own personal career growth.
We definitely don't spend enough time in our own personal roadmap development. And so I thought a great use case to do today would be to show you using Claude Projects for our own career growth. What I've got here is a project with knowledge of my career ladder competencies that we have here at Pendo. So I know exactly what's expected of me at the level that I'm at, but also what I need to do achieve to close the gap and get to the next level. And then my insights profile. So we all get an insights profile here at Pendo showing us our strengths and my many weaknesses. And then also then I've got my OKRs for the year that I set out for the year that I want to achieve, and my 90-day plan that I just, thank God, completed yesterday. And then over here is a prompt. So you give the context. Go ahead and you say you're a fantastic career coach. And by the way, I used the developer console over at Anthropic that I showed you earlier to build this all out. I just gave it a bit of a light prompt and it went to town. And as I showed you in the other demonstration where you use the Claude mobile app and you have a chat with the app, just do that. Go into your project in Claude, chat to this particular project. Have something in your diary every Friday and just have a little rant at the app and talk about your week, right? What did you win? Succeed with, sorry, what are your struggles, your challenges, and just go through and give it all of this context. And that context then will build up throughout the year, right? And so that when you're having your quarterly review, your annual review, you're setting your goals for the year ahead, you're doing your personal career planning, you have all this context in here because of all of those notes that you've given it every Friday. And it knows then how to work with you and it's better able to support you. And honestly, it's fantastic.
Cool. So that's the power of having all the relevant information at the AI's fingertips. Now let's get ready to have our mind blown and take this up another level, quite literally. The next demonstration is pretty cool, I think anyway. Imagine having a whole team of AI experts. When we chat to a chatbot, it has its own biases, it has its own strengths and weaknesses. Imagine chatting to all of them at the same time, like a scene out of The Matrix. Honestly, it's what it looks like. Let me quickly show you what Chorus does. Brilliantly named, by the way, from what you're about to see.
Create an outreach email for me to the Chief Product Officer, Jessica Hall, at justeat.co.uk, and explain to her the value proposition of Pendo, be particularly detailed about what we do, but also more importantly, make sure that it's relevant to her line of business and talks to that and where her pain points might lie in her org. Thank you. Not sure why I say thank you, but I like it. So now what you'll see is all the LLMs that you have down here below are all going to be called upon and providing providing us with how they respond to these kind of things. And this is what's great about this particular app, because you get to see everything under the one HUD as such. DeepSeek, it'll start thinking forever. It goes to town, bless it. And Gemini is really good now as the last week or two since it's been released, the new 2.0. experimental is really good. Flashlight 2, Grok is great. And so what I could do here is I could just pick one of these and work with it. Or I could actually go, do you know what? Let me synthesize all this. Let me bring everything together into one outreach email. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so we do analytics, yes. Enough guidance, yes. Feedback and roadmap planning. It's a little okay, but it's not great enough. So 1 second, bear with me. Thank you for this. But can you actually make it more relevant to her line of business in the outreach? Thank you. And then we will then find something which should be hopefully better. Yeah, perfect. So that's all good. Nice one. Metrics, good. Yeah, that would be Gemini 2.0. So that's really, really good. Sonar's not that good. And then what we could do is then go in and pick one, work with it, or just synthesize again. And so I'll synthesize everything, bring it all together, and we should have something nice and punchy. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is really, really good. And yep, it looks to have behaved itself pretty well.
Cool. I really think this is amazing. When you start playing with it, I'm trying to use some software right now that popped in Product Hunt recently called Tana. No time to talk about it today, unfortunately, but I will online. Check it out, tana.inc. And it's a PKM app, it's personal knowledge management app. And you can build your own schema for how you work and how you can track your tasks and your objectives. And anyway, it's quite complicated to get going with it. I threw the documentation links in here and said, come up with a schema, design it for me. I'm a CPO, what can I do? Honestly, you can do so much with this tool. It's fantastic. They all have different ways of treating your inputs, right? So bringing it in here, to bringing the best bits together, mashing it all together, having it all work together is hugely powerful. So part of my role at Pendo is also working with our revenue organization to really help them win more in the market and be more successful than we already are today. And so what I've been trying to do is light that fire internally, as I'm trying to do here today on stage, is to bring some agentic AI workflow into our organization. And I want to pull the curtains back on some of that because people go, oh, agents, oh, complicated. It's not. It really isn't. Let me show you something we've done. I'm going to show you, obviously, it's a sales use case, but the reason I'm doing this is because something I've been working on. But what this is about is the fridge door. This is about opening it up so you can see the building blocks of what's possible, what you can do with this, and then you can cook up your own recipes.
Okay, so before I go through and show you how easy it is to build the following, I want to show you at a high level what it's all about. So this is an agentic AI workflow that I created for our sales org in EMEA, and it took about 25 minutes to create, and it saves weeks of work, of human effort, every single day. What happens up here in the pink is that the sales team has essentially a web form. They go in, they fill it out, the domain name of the prospect, an email address, a LinkedIn profile if they have it, and then we take that into the blue section over here, which basically is a perplexity search. And it has a really strong prompt in here, which obviously, just to repeat again, Anthropic's developer console, give it a crap prompt, get a brilliant one back. And it uses that prompt and marries that then with the domain name variable, does all this research and comes back with fantastic up-to-date research on the prospect. Their pain points, 10K filing reports, whatever it might be, it's all in there. Then in the green section, we have our Pendo specific context that we bring into play, our ICP, our value proposition, our customer case studies of where we've had really strong, hard, measurable impact on our customers' business outcomes over the years across all the industries that we work in. And then in the peach section here, the AI comes into play. So then what is generated is a value hypothesis, which essentially is a Venn diagram of Pendo and the customer and how we overlap and how we can strongly support their business outcomes. And over here is an email generator then that gets drafted and put into the sales rep's draft folder, and likewise a Google Doc for the value hypothesis as well, for the sales rep then to review.
So that's just it at a high level. I didn't want to show you the actual app just yet, because I thought if I jump straight in there, that definitely is too much. Now we'll do that.
Before we jump in, I want to show you how Gumloop works. Gumloop essentially is a canvas with which you can then throw on various different building blocks onto it and have an agentic AI workflow powered by Gumloop. I want to show you what kind of integrations you can work with. So if you just scan down here, right, just think about all the different content you have in all of these different sources, or content you want to push into these different sources based on different things happening in the flow. Hugely, hugely, hugely powerful. Salesforce, for example. I mean, this is just brilliant, right? Bringing in YouTube transcripts. There's all sorts of stuff you can do here. So that's the most important thing I want to show you. And then I'm going to quickly show you a very, very basic, like a cookery program, one I made earlier. Here is a very, very simplistic flow that I've done. And what I've done here now is I've created an input. So you've got an input which can be coming from a form, and the value, the default value is ProductCon London. I pass that input into a combined text step. The idea then is we're creating a prompt, right? When and where is input, ProductCon London, taking place this year? Reason for that, then is you pass that into your Perplexity search query, and then you get the result, and it all goes through in seconds, and then you get to see the output over here, the citations and the response. So that's at a very, very basic level. Now let's take it up a level and go back to what I showed you previously on the other video. Right, might look daunting, but I'll quickly show it to you. So you've got your inputs coming from a form. We built an interface over here, so folk in the design team are able to go in and enter this all in. It doesn't look like this, it's just a simple form. This is just the actual creation of the form itself. And then we go into the subflow over here. These are the inputs coming from that, and then over here, then what you have is the URL is Just Eat. We now want that to then go into, give me a detailed overview of input, Just Eat, what they do as a company, what jobs to be done, they do for their end users, what the strategic goals are, what the risks analysts have said or might have said about their business, blah, 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 blah. Right? That all goes there. That goes into a Perplexity search. We then have a ton of research then done by Perplexity in its output. Over here on the right-hand side, you have PDF files that are uploaded, Pendo value prop, ICP, customer case studies, and so on. Right? So all of that is there, and they just basically connect everything. Right? So again, we take what we have in the Perplexity search, we feed that into this combined text piece. The combined text piece over here, what it's doing essentially is saying, take everything from the Perplexity search and also from all of those other docs that I've given for Pendo context. And then all of that then is then pumped in, I should say, into the OpenAI prompt. So it might look a little complicated. It's not. Once you get going with this, once you understand the building blocks, the ingredients that you have to play with, it is very, very, very effective. And so much you can do here, right? Not just creating that Google Doc that we mentioned earlier, but also firing off that email that we want to send, but also updating a Slack channel, updating a Salesforce record, updating the owner of this particular account that this has happened. So there's so much you can do here. And it is, like I say, hugely, hugely, hugely powerful and not as daunting as it looked. This literally just took 25 minutes, like I say, to create. And there you go.
I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of listening to my voice. Gumloop isn't just a fridge. It's the entire kitchen, it's the pantry, it's a spice rack, it's the chef's knife collection, it's the whole caboodle to cook up something amazing. Think about it, right? Jira, Slack, you can scrape pages, your competitors' pricing pages, their help documentation, their release notes. Imagine you have all your jobs to be done, you've got 10 of them in your portfolio. You give the definition of that to your AI, you tell the AI then to listen to your competitors, and when there's a heartbeat on any one of those jobs to be done, your PM knows. And you light the fire of urgency under your CFO to get them to continue to invest based on market movement. Honestly, so much you can do with it. Cook up some good stuff with it. It's fantastic. Okay, so we're coming to the end. I'm sorry I'm a bit overrun. We talked about reclaiming our time and saving a shitload of it. We've now built a fortress and protected our time. And now we've just been talking about how to amplify the time that we have with the AI and make those hard-won hours really count. And Jensen's quote behind, which is that while some might worry that AI might take our jobs, it's actually somebody who's actually great with the AI that's going to do it, right? And powerful, powerful words. And let's be honest, there's a lot of fear around AI, obviously, but people do worry about it replacing them, making their skills obsolete. But if we become the experts that Jensen's talking about, then the AI doesn't become a threat, it becomes our superpower. It becomes the tool, amplifies your impact, allows you to do things that you never thought possible in the time that you had. So it's not about AI taking your job, it's about actually making sure that we're taking charge of the AI, obviously ourselves. And so that's what this presentation's all been about. It's about giving you the tools, the techniques, and the mindset to be good AI geek. Not just to survive in the new world, but to thrive in it. So a few things from me. That's me. Follow me if you can, and I'd love to connect. I will be posting and talking about a lot more around this. I'll be giving a lot more presentations around this throughout the course of the year. This pace, the space, is picking up significantly right now. Grok 3 is about to land. It's off the chart. It's already in pole position. It's going to be a nuts year this year. So connect with me. I'll be posting all the resources we talked about today, and I'll be boring the pants off anyone that wants to follow me about AI tools, techniques, workflows, all of that governs. The other piece, please, is use your voice. Obviously you do. I'm biased, I'm Irish. but please talk to your computer. It really is a ton of fun. Treat them like humans, and it makes it easier. Protect your calendar, and lean into the hacks. Once you've got the time saved, you will all then be able to look at where the puck is going. Reid Hoffman calls this out. It's so strategically important. When we are looking for our jobs in our next roles or currently, the edge you'll have is what you know of where that puck is going. And then, last but not least, connect with us at the Pendo booth, please. We're all outside, and we're doing amazing things. I'm a tool freak, and I'm not just saying this because I work at Pendo, but I actually have never used a tool like it, where actually it gives us as leaders the evidence we need to drive our storytelling convincingly with our C-suite. Without customer-centric evidence and data, you cannot align your org and everything else is chaos. Please come talk to us. There's a book at the stand from Todd, our founder. There's a few of them that those that come to the stand quick enough can pick up from us. And then there's a huge course, a great course on AI for product management on the left. I just want to finish by saying, unlock the full potential of AI, please. Lean in, really lean in, and make time for your fridge. Huge thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carlos.